What up, African world? It's Home Team here, and welcome back to another video of African history, culture, and worldview. By supporting this channel on Patreon, you're helping in the creation of these videos and contributing to this content. The link to Patreon is in the description box below. Black women throughout history have always been involved in movements or revolutions. They tend to be the unseen work behind the cause. When one considers the role of African women in warfare, we learn that they weren't just bystanders, but active participants and initiators of battle on the African continent. Today, let's discuss some of the most well-known warrior queens in African history. So here are some of the top 5 greatest African warrior queens in history. I wanted to start with a legendary queen mother mentioned in the oral tradition of the Maasai people, Princess Yanenga. Now, Princess Yanenga later became considered a sort of queen mother of the Maasai people, but the oral tradition begins her story as a princess. Her father was said to be a king of a region in northern Ghana. Not only was she hailed for her beauty, but she was known as an excellent horse rider and a highly skilled warrior, a master of the bow and spear, and among the best in the nation. Her desire to get married caused some friction in her relationship with her father because he didn't want to lose such an excellent warrior to marriage. The legend goes as follows. Yanenga planted a beautiful field of wheat that impressed her father. Over time, Princess Yanenga allowed the field of wheat to rot. When her father inquired as to why she would do such a thing, she explained to her father that this is how he made her feel. Precious as you say I am, still you let me rot like the wheat in this field. Her father was angered, hardened his heart, and locked her away in his palace. She eventually escaped, establishing her own nation in the region of Burkina Faso, and is recognized as the Queen Mother of the Maasai people. Queen Ngugi is also a legendary queen of Ethiopia. Her story principally comes from the Chronicle of Ethiopia of the 13th century. In another account, Ngugi was said to be a princess from a royal house in Aksum. One source says that she converted to Judaism and wasn't fond of the Christian empire of Aksum, likely due to her banishment. Vengeance was hers as she managed to amass an army and conquer Aksum, laying to waste many Christian churches and monuments. In the literature, she is sometimes referred to as Esato, meaning fire. Queen Ngugi went on to rule for 40 years, initiating the start of a new Aksumite dynasty. The Ngugi legend, as it appears in the Chronicle, is partly based on historical fact. From other historical sources, it is known that around 970, Aksum was conquered by a queen who burned many churches. Queen Nzinga is one of my personal favorites. Her story is incredible, and there's even a movie about her life. Queen Nzinga was an African queen of the 17th century during a time when the Portuguese were trying to gain control of the region of Angola. She's remembered as a great diplomat and skilled warrior. The salience of Queen Nzinga's legacy is that she had a unit of armed female bodyguards and was literally present on the battlefield. Nzinga brilliantly played on African and European politics to position herself in power. She formed alliances with the Dutch to counter Portuguese influence, and she installed herself as singular regent on the thrones of Ndongo and Matamba. Portuguese alliance with other Africans in the region posed a serious problem for Nzinga, but ultimately they were unable to gain a stronghold over her sovereignty. How she was able to survive the threats of African and European powers was quite impressive. Queen Amina was a Hausa warrior queen of northwest Nigeria, believed to have existed around the 16th century. Queen Amina was a state builder believed to have established the kingdom of Zaza. She is said to have been a great warrior queen and military strategist who built defensive walls around the city of Zaria. Though many questions arise about her rule and the details therein, there is, however, no doubting her influence and legacy. Sultan Muhammad Bello described her conquest as the most extensive of all the countries of Hausa, reaching the sea in the south and the west, which probably meant the confluence of the Niger and Benue rivers. According to Bello, even Katsina and Kano paid her tribute, but historians of these two emirates insist that there is no documentary evidence of this. Queen Amina is said to have dominated much of Hausaland for 34 years. Queen Amina was perhaps the first significant female conqueror in West African history that frequently participated in military expeditions. The greatest warrior queen of Africa is Queen Amanirenas. The unique thing about Queen Amanirenas is that she comes from a line of Kushite queens who were depicted in reliefs as warriors, evincing their active participation. In fact, she's even mentioned as the one-eyed Candace in the literature because of her active participation in battle. Queen Amanirenas is believed to have been on the throne of Meroe as early as 25 BC. She's famously known for her altercation with the Romans, which ultimately ended in a propitious treaty for the Kushites. The Romans were clear about their expansionist policy, according to scholar Laszlo Torik, in using the term in tutelam receptor. The Romans undoubtedly wanted Meroe to be a vassal. However, Roman failure to take Arabia along with Meroitic resistance encouraged Augustus to reconsider the expansionist policy. Queen Amanirenas opposed the taxes the Romans imposed on the Nubians living in Lower Nubia. This seems to have been the origin of the encounter. When most of the Roman soldiers left to invade Arabia, Meroe attacked Roman Egypt and ostensibly occupied Philae, Syene, and Elephantine, carrying off prisoners and the head of an Augustus statue. Roman response was swift under Petronius, leading to the Battle of Dacia and the death of the Kushite king Pteritikos, leaving Queen Amanirenas as sole ruler. When Queen Amanirenas showed up with her army at Qasr Ibrim, instead of a military showdown, both parties agreed to sign a treaty. Through her resistance and diplomacy, she got the Roman taxes revoked. Her success in protecting Kushite sovereignty and her reputation as a warrior queen cannot be denied. Well, I'm all out, guys. If you like these videos and want to help in its continued production, consider supporting the home team on patreon.com. The link is in the description box below. Know thyself. Remember your ancestors. Peace.